Hello everyone, I'm Christopher Rogers, and this is the Amateur Fishing Project. This video is going to be another video in my Fishing with Classic Lures series. So just as a reminder, my definition of a classic lure is a lure that has been on the market for over 50 years, which is another way of saying that these are all lures that I have been fishing with since I was just a little fellow. And I've been waiting for just the right conditions to illustrate for you one of my all-time favorite topwater lures, the Rebel Pop-R. So tomorrow morning, I think we're going to have what I consider to be ideal conditions for topwater fishing. The water temperature has been in the high 70s to low 80s. We are in the post-spawn period, so all of the bass have been feeding very actively. And here in Northeast Texas, we've had a series of strong thunderstorms passing through the area. Tomorrow is going to be no different. We are forecasted to have another strong thunderstorm hit tomorrow afternoon. But that's fine because I've actually got to go to work tomorrow afternoon. So I will have a window tomorrow morning to illustrate this lure for you, which I think is going to be ideal for topwater fishing. In addition to the water conditions, we're going to have a stable to falling barometer, which should trigger the entire food chain. And the area that I'm going to be taking y'all to is an area that I was catching fish in last week. So I know that recently this area was holding fish. So because of all those factors, I think this is going to be a great opportunity to illustrate for y'all just how effective this classic lure still is. So the next time you see me, I will be out on the lake fishing with a Rebel Pop-R, which in video editing time is going to happen that fast. There you go. There's a fish. All right. I've missed a couple, but I got my hooks into that one. There you go. Finally. Oh, he swallowed it too. Oh no. That might be bad. I might not have wanted to get my hooks in him that good. Doggone it. I hate it when they do that. All right, well, I was able to get that lure out of this nice little fish without damaging it. Pretty fish, very heavy for a fish its size. So let's put this fish back in the water. And, oh, he's biting down on my thumb, so he's good. Hope your day gets better, little fish. Thank you for that. All right, so, that fish hit this tiny Pop-R. I've been fishing two sizes. Those are the two sizes I've been fishing. Hadn't had any action on this one. I've had a couple of blow-ups on this one, but have not actually gotten my hooks into a fish before that one. But that fish inhaled this bait right here. So let's see if I can do that again. There you go. There's a little fish. There you go. Oh, that was a nice fish too. That wasn't a little one. That was a nice one. See if I can't do that again. There you go. All right, there's a little fish there. All right. Let's see if I can't get this one on the boat. All right, that's a nice one. That's a nice little fish there. All right, come here, buddy. Oh, yeah. There you go. That's a nice little fish there. All right, another fish on the Pop-R. That one hit chrome with a blue back. It's one of the best colors on this lake. So the majority of my fish, like I said, I've been throwing two different sizes. This larger size here and this little tiny size. And they've been hitting the tiny more today, but like I've said before, my strike to hook ratio is not that great today. I've had many more strikes than I've had hook sets. Oh, okay, buddy. You are ready, aren't you? All right, let's put you back. There you go. All right. Let's see if I can't do that a few more times. There you go. Let's see if I can get this one in the boat. All right, all right, all right. There you go. There you go. Come on. Oh, he picked up some moss. I thought he was a little bigger there than he was for a second. But no, he didn't gain weight. He just picked up moss. All right, buddy. Still a nice fish. Yeah, that's still a nice fish. Yeah, that's a little better than the last one. Yeah, there you go. That's a little better than the last one. So, I don't know if you noticed the cadence I was using. When I first started today, I was using a steady retrieve. Just pop, 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 reel in the slack, pop, 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 reel in the slack, pop, pop. Just an alternating cadence, but a steady cadence. I've had more luck when I've slowed down and just done a pop, pop, and let it sit. Pop, pop, and let it sit. And like this fish did, they've been hitting it on the pause. So let's put this fish back in the water. We'll see if we can't catch a couple more. There you go, buddy. All right. And again, that fish hit the chrome blue back in the tiny version of the Pop-R, not the standard, but the tiny. Okay, there you go. Got my hooks into that one, I think. And I'll talk a little more about that here in just a second. This might be that's a nicer fish there. That's a nice fish. Yes, sir. That's a nice fish there. Okay. Come here, buddy. Come here. Let's get you in the boat. All right. All right. So, I want to talk to y'all about the hook set on these topwater lures. So, like I said before, I've been using a stop and go, or really a pop, pop, pause cadence to retrieve this bait, where I'll just pop it, let it sit, pop it, let it sit. And these fish have been hitting on the pause. But for those of you not as experienced with top water as others, it's very easy to get excited when you see that fish hit that lure on the surface. Your immediate reaction is to rear back and set that hook. But that's not what you want to do. More often than not, what will end up happening is you'll pull that lure away from that fish. You got to give that fish a chance to swallow it, or at least get it in its mouth. You don't really want it to swallow it, but you want the fish to have a chance to get that lure in its mouth. So you don't want to set the hook and pull it out of its mouth right away. You want to crank the reel up and wait till you feel the tension in the line and then set the hook. And that's where your gear ratio comes into play. Now, I'm using spinning reels, so I'm retrieving more line with each crank than I would with a casting reel. So if you're using a casting reel, you want to use a faster gear ratio, like a 6-to-1 or 7-to-1 gear ratio. That'll let you retrieve that line quicker when you feel the tension, then you set the hook. So that's my tip for fishing top water. When you see that fish hit, you don't want to set the hook immediately and risk pulling that lure out of its mouth. You want to reel in until you feel the tension and then set the hook. So let's get this pretty fish back in the water. All right, buddy. How you feeling? Huh? You feeling good? All right. You go back and have a good day. All right. Well, I'm happy with the production. So far, I hope that I've illustrated for you how productive these classic lures are. I'm going to keep casting and hopefully put a few more fish on the boat for you. All right, this is some of the only visible timber in this area, so I wouldn't be surprised one bit if a bass comes off this timber and hits this lure right as I move it in between this standing stump and this laydown. All right, there you go. It took me a second to catch up with that fish. But yeah, it took it right there where I expected it to. That's a nice fish. That's a nice fish. That's my best fish of the day right there. I'm gonna get this fish in a net. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. There you go. Oh no, my net broke. My net, yeah, oh no. Well, that's not gonna land any fish right there. Oh, I just got this fish barely hooked in the gill too, on the outside of the mouth. Come here, buddy. My goodness. All right, I got you. Oh yeah, my best fish of the day. Well, that was eventful. Well, I'm glad that net didn't break on a fish any bigger than this. Come here. All right. So if you were paying attention, that fish hit exactly where I expected it to, in between this standing timber and that laydown. And what I had just explained to you came into effect because I had to reel to catch up with that fish, take in the slack, and then set the hook. And then, of course, I had this fiasco with my landing net. So, yeah, every day's a new adventure. Let's put this pretty fish back in the water. Yes, sir. Thank you for that, buddy. You have a good day. You gonna dance for me? No? All right. So like I was saying, it's a good thing I wasn't trying to land a trophy fish when this thing decided to give way. Yeah, you know, that's part of fishing. You can expect equipment failures, backlashes, getting hooked, all kinds of things. It's all part of it. Okay. I think maybe I might have my hooks in that one. Oh yeah, that's a nice fish. That's a nice fish right there. Oh yeah. That's a nice fish. Oh yeah. Come here, buddy. Well, I know I'm not landing you with my net. I know that much. I had this one hooked a little better than I thought. All right. Another nice fish. What a pretty fish. Oh, got a little blood coming out of him. I don't know where this fish is bleeding from because I didn't damage him. That fish will be fine. That fish will be fine. All right, so again, that fish hit and I had to reel to catch up with him before I set the hook. I know if you're new to bass fishing, it's really difficult to have enough patience to do that, but it's just something that you get accustomed to over time. And you know, once you do, like I've hopefully illustrated for you, once you do, it will help you get your hooks into a lot more fish. All right, nice fish. Thank you for that, buddy. All right. Okay, might have my hooks in that one. Oh, that's a nice fish. That's a nice fish. That might be my best of the morning. Oh yeah, it is absolutely my best of the morning. Oh, and it's cooked on the outside of the mouth, just barely hooked. Where's my net when I need it? Oh goodness, hang in there, buddy. Hang in there, buddy. Oh yeah, how about that? How about that fish on the popper? How about that? Look at that pretty fish. Goodness gracious. That fish was just barely hooked. I really could have used a net there. Look at that pretty fish. You know what? I think that fish wants his picture taken. Let me put this fish in the live well while I get my camera out. Let's put this pretty fish back in the water. Definitely my best in the morning, and hopefully a great illustration of how effective the popper topwater can be, even after being on the market for over 50 years. All right, beauty. Look how beautiful that fish is. Thank you for that. You made my morning. You really did. Thank you for that. Dance. Beautiful fish. You know what? I wouldn't mind doing that again. That's one thing about fishing, is it doesn't matter how many you catch. Fishermen are greedy. We're really greedy, because it doesn't matter how many we catch. You always want to catch at least one more. But my window of fishing is almost over, because like I said, I do have to go to work this afternoon. So here shortly, I'm going to have to call it a morning, but like I said, I would like to catch at least one more. Okay. That might be my one more right there. Let's see if I can get this fish on the boat. Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go. All right. All right. You got some fight in you. You do have some fight in you. All right, buddy. Sure wish I had a net to land you with. Look at that beautiful fish. That fish has some weight on it. Oh, heck yeah. Beautiful fish. Okay. All right, everybody. Once again, the Rebel Pop-R comes through for me. I left myself just enough time to fish out of this hole I've been fishing in time to get back in town to make it to work on time. But I was down to about my last 3 casts, and this beautiful fish hit. And so that's a good heavy fish right there. I will take that one as my last fish of this fantastic morning of fishing with the Rebel Pop-R. Buddy, I sure appreciate that. You helped to make this morning a great one. I hope the rest of your day goes well. Just taking his time, which is not what I can do right now. I gotta rush out of here and get back to work. All right, everyone, as you've just seen, that was a fantastic morning of fishing, and I hope over the course of this morning I've been successful in illustrating how productive the Rebel Pop-R is. In addition to being a fun lure to catch fish on, seeing those fish hit top water, there's just nothing else like it. And that's one of the lessons I tried to convey to you over the course of this video that's especially important for those of you who aren't as familiar with fishing as some of us. It takes a lot of patience to not rear back and set the hook when you see those fish hit. Again, you need to reel in your slack as quickly as you can before you rear back and set the hook. That's the key to getting your hook into more fish. Now, I've lost count of how many fish I've caught. I'm sure I'll count when I edit this video. And I've lost count of how many fish I did not get my hooks into. So you can do everything right and still not get your hooks into fish. And again, when you're not that experienced, it's very easy to have something like that discourage you. But you need to just stick with it, because even when you miss, that tells you that the fish are looking at what you're presenting. And you just need to be diligent and stick with your presentation. Now, it took me a while to dial those fish in this morning. I tried 2 different sizes and about 4 different colors before I found the one they wanted. And this morning, this was it. This chrome blueback, and I didn't notice until I took this lure off my line, but these hooks are just absolutely mangled. But that's okay, I can replace the hooks. But it took me a while to get the correct lure dialed in. But once I did, I started catching fish and getting hits, just one, no, it wasn't one cast after another. That would be exaggerating a little too much. But it was consistent. And the morning was a heck of a lot of fun. And I hope I've conveyed that part of it as well. As I always do, I hope that I've shared some things with you that will help you put a few more fish on the boat the next time that you are fortunate enough to come out and enjoy something like this. And I hope that you've just enjoyed watching this. If you have, please hit the like button for me, because hitting the like button is just a little something that you can do to help me continue sharing this with as many people as possible. And if you'd like to follow the Amateur Fishing Project, you can hit the subscribe button. And that way, you won't miss out on any of the videos that I have upcoming. So until I have the opportunity to share this with you again, wherever you may be, stay safe and have fun.